Hello everyone, this is the Mining Geologist and I'm happy to be again with you here on YouTube and sharing my knowledge, and I'm here to demystify mining engineering and these mining packages and geology and geoscience in general. So I'm gonna try to share my knowledge with you guys in this YouTube channel for free. So I'm actually, as you can see here, I'm with Surpac. It's one of the most known software in the mining industry, and a lot of company use this software, and it's their software of choice. And to be honest, it was one of the software that I started to use myself when I started my career. It was Surpac and Minex, because back then they were like the top softwares actually, and learning Surpac and one of these Geovia packages was like something really hot and can get you easily a job in the mining industry, because these software are considered one of the hardest softwares to learn. But slowly I moved to other packages, and Surpac is still a good software. It's true that it still have some uh, negative things. That's what I call, uh, but still a good package for block modeling, resource estimation, and stuff like that. We'll get to this in a moment. By the way, this video is actually part of a full training in Surpac, in which I will show you how actually Surpac works to just get you started, how to create a geological database, how to create a block model, how to do resource estimation, and we'll get to the basics of pit design. All of this in just one course. The course is going to be released soon, so stay tuned for that. By the way, make sure please to subscribe to this channel to get all the latest updates and to learn more about these mining packages. So without further ado, without wasting your valuable time, let's go and dive into this. So we're going to be covering the first step in mining, in any mining project, and in using any mining package, which is actually creating a geological database. So basically a geological database is just loading the drill hole database inside the software, and the software will be able to recognize the location of these drill holes and the different intervals that were intercepted in the field, so the different lithological layers that were intercepted. And it is actually optional, but it is really something that you need to have in order to create a block model, which is some samples with some grade values that you are going to use them and do some geostatistical analysis and create a block model that's going to be based or used for resource estimation and pit optimization. So this is basically what it is, a geological database. So this is Surpac, like any other software, by the way. So let me go to profiles and choose no profile. So this is how you actually see Surpac when you started it. And what I've done here, you can see inside databases, I have databases, open a new, edit, and stuff like that. So I have a full menu. And I have, this is the menu and the main menu, and here we have a toolbar, we have the navigation panel in here, which you have all your different folders in your system, and we have also the layers, all the active layer that we're looking at in the 3D view here. We have the message window in which you have everything, so any command that you that you use inside Surpac, you're gonna see some message in here, so you can go and clear this window if you want. And that's the what is Surpac is composed of. But you can go now and choose, for example, if you right click here in the menu, you will notice that we have menus, and you can choose what kind of menu you want to see. We are looking at the main menu for the moment, and we have the toolbars. So for example, you can see the toolbar here. You can use, for example, if you're working with if you want to do some block modeling, you want to see some block modeling tools. So if you choose the block model toolbar, it's going to appear here with a bunch of tools that are used for block modeling. But there also the profile. For the moment it's set to no profile, and if you set it, for example, to geology database, you will have not only the menu but also the toolbar. So you have the menus for geological database and the toolbars, or the tools that you are going to use for geological database. So that's what we are going to do now. Geology database. And you can see we have a new menu in here with database edit. That all of these were inside that database. If you recall, they were in here, database, and when you click on database you find all of these, and inside each one of them you have all the different tools. Also, we have an additional toolbar in here, which is the drill hole database toolbar, that makes our life easier, so we don't have to navigate to these menus. And if you're familiar with Surpac, you're going to be just using these tools in here. So another thing is we need to set the work directory. So whenever we create something, whenever we import something, we need it to be saved somewhere in our system. To do that, all you have to do is to go to the folder, navigate inside your system to the folder that you want, and just right click and choose set as work directory. So we're going to be working in this directory. As you can see, this is actually part of Surpac training, and I'm going to use the same data that I've used for that training, but this is going to be just for YouTube. So when the training is going to be ready, I'll put in the link in the description and you can go and get that training. So now what we need to do is to create a geological database. So you can either go to this button here and choose open drill hole database, or you can go to database and open new. So I'm gonna go here and click on this one. So you can go and call it whatever you want. So I'm going to call this Geology DB, because I've already used drill hole database for the training and it's already active in here. So I want to create a new drill hole database, and I'm gonna call this Geology DB. You can call it whatever you want. Click on apply, and I'm going to click on apply again. So now the software is telling us what kind of database, what is the extension of the database that you want to create. So we have a bunch of extensions. For example, we have the Paradox. If you guys are familiar with databases, we have ODBC, we have all the different version of Access, but I really prefer to use this Access without any version to be exact. So, and then you will notice that we have two different things. The software is asking us stored or calculated. What are these? You will see that there's a small hint in here that says YXZ survey and sample coordinates. So usually when we have a drill hole database, in the survey table, we don't have actually the coordinates of every single interval. So let's say you go like 50-meter deep in the subsurface, you have inside that interval you will need to have like X, Y, and Z for that one exactly. So usually we don't do this calculation ourselves unless you have that really high-tech drill that will does this for you and give you a ready spreadsheet. But in our case, we're going to have just the in the color table, we are going to have the X, Y, and Z, and the software, based on the survey and the deviation that we have in there, will calculate these X, Y, and Z automatically. So if you have them stored and you're that high-tech guy and you got this really advanced technology that will get you this, so you store it and feed these information to the software. Or if you're just a normal guy like most of us and you have that drill hole that just gives you the coordinate, you have only the coordinate of the color, just use calculated. So, and click on apply. I know the software is going to tell us that there are actually some mandatory tables. So the software needs the color table in order to know the coordinates of the drill holes, which is x, y, and z, and the maximum depth. And it's the survey table in order to know if there are any deviation and in which direction. But there are actually some optional tables, which are, in our case, the sample table or the assay table, in which we have different intervals of the grades in the subsurface. That's the first table. And the second table is the geology, in which we have all the different geological layer intercepted by each one of these drill holes. So we need to tell the softwares the names of these tables. In our case, we're going to have the sample, and you can go right click here and choose add. And add, I'm going to call this geology. Or maybe let's call it lithology. And the table type is actually interval. And I'm going to click on OK. And now we need to tell the software, so you can see that we have here all the different this is the color table. By the way, that's the geology DB that was created by Surpac. And now this is the color table. You can see that we have the hole ID, the hole path, the maximum depth, X, Y, and Z. Now, one thing to mention here is when you are going to define the fields of all the tables, make sure that it is written the same way as in the Excel sheet. So for example, hole ID hole ID is there. Make sure that it's not with a capital H in here, so that's not going to work. So you need to make sure that it is exactly the same. If you're not sure, go copy and go here and paste. Okay, so that's how to make it work for you. But in our case, I made sure that they are written the same way. So we have hole ID, hole path, maximum depth, X, Y, and Z. We have all of these here: hole ID, X, Y, and Z, max depth, and hole path. So we don't have any optional fields. So let's go to the survey. Inside the survey, we have the hole ID, the depth, the X and Y and Z. We don't have them actually. The software is going to calculate them automatically. We have the dip and the azimuth. So these are nulls. We don't have them. So, and then we move to the next one, which is the translation. This is going to be calculated automatically. This one and this one, the styles and the translation, they're going to be calculated automatically inside Surpac, so you don't have to worry about these. Go to the samples. So we have a sample ID already. So we have a sample ID. We have the from depth. We don't have an X from and Y from and Z from. We have the depth too. We don't have the Y2, X2, and Z2. We don't have them. But you will notice that we don't have a grade field in here. So if you go to, for example, to our sample table, you will notice that we have a grade field in here, which that showcases the grade of the gold deposit, so or the gold sample in there. So we need a field that is actually called gold. So what I need to do is to copy this one and tell the software that I have a field that is actually called gold, and it is called gold in here. So let me go and call this gold. And it's not actually a character because we have some real numbers, so let's choose real. 2 decimals and the length is 10, and if it's not null because we have some values in there, so good. And let's go and move to the lithology. Inside the lithology, we have a field called rock, and we need to go to here and just paste that in there, and it's character and it's not null, and length of 10, it's okay. And let's go to the sample. We've ignored these. Let's go to the lithology. We don't have a sample ID. We don't have the X from, Y from, Z from, Y2, X2, and Z2. We don't have them. We have the other ones. So we have this rock field, and we're happy with that. We click on apply, and the software now created these tables. Okay, if I go to this one, right click and choose refresh, now you can see that I have this geologydb.access database. This is actually an access database, and we need to fill this one. If we go and throw it in here, you can see an access database is going to be opened, and now we have all the different tables that we've created. But if I double click on this one, you'll notice that we have the whole ID, the whole path, the max depth, the X, Y, and Z, but there's no data inside of it. So we need to import the data from these Excel sheets inside the database itself. To do that, we can go to external data in Excel, or we can just right click and choose import from Excel. Now what I can do is navigate to the folder where they are actually located, which is this one, and I'm going to browse and choose the color table, and I'm going to append that to the color table and click on OK. Now this is the table itself, and finish, close, and I'm going to do the same thing for the lithology. Import Excel and browse geology, and I'm going to append this to lithology, click on OK, and I'm happy with that. Finish and close. Now we need to go to the sample, import Excel, browse. We are in the sample, so sample, and I'm going to append this one to sample. OK, happy with that. Finish. Okay, the sample is taking some time. Close. And now we don't have to worry about the styles or the translation. Surpac is going to create that automatically. Let me go and import the survey, which is this one, and I'm going to append that to the survey. You can see that it is actually straightforward, but in your case you might run into some problems. Make sure, for example, if you're using numeric data, make sure, for example, that the what is that? The decimal number, the separator for the decimal number is comma, maybe not point, because that might be a problem. These kind of things could, make you run into problems. So make sure to check them out. If you have any problems, comment that below, and make sure to check your command and try to help you. So we've imported the data. So for example, if I double click on color, it was empty, but now we have all the different fields imported from our sheets. We're happy with that. Let's go and close this one, close all of these tables that we have in here, close, don't save that. And now if I close this right away, don't worry, it was saved. So let's make sure that it is saved. If we just throw that again in here, and an Access database is going to be opened, double click here, and when you notice that we have the drill holes. Okay, now the second thing is to display the drill holes. So if you go to the geology database and display drill holes, you can see that we have this draw holes here. What we can do is we are going to tell the software we want the color traces by if you have taken our block modeling course, you'll notice that we create some legends for Volcane in order to display the drill holes with colors, and we are going to do the same thing with Surpac. So the table, let's say that we want to see them based on the lithology table and based on the rock attribute, okay? And or maybe yeah, let's skip like that. So we want to see the traces to be in green, and click on OK. Apply, and you can see now that we have all the drill holes imported, but they are all green, so we need to change that. We need to make the software look at them based on the lithology. So we go to drill hole database again and choose drill hole display styles, or you can go to display and drill hole display styles in there. Okay, now we have all the different tables in here. You can see that we have the color, lithology, and sample. Let me go to lithology and click on this rock, which is the attribute in which or at which we are going to base our colors. Right click and choose Get Field Codes, and you'll see a small button here that will appear. If we click on that one, you'll notice that we have all the different lithology codes that we used inside that rock attribute. So for example, this is the code B. We can add some or assign some colors in here. You can choose from this one, or if you have a color in your mind, let's say red, Surpac is going to detect that automatically, and you can also copy. Let's say you have this one blue, you can go and copy this one and paste it in here, and Surpac is going to recognize that automatically. Same thing for this one. If you choose, for example, this color and click on OK, you're gonna have this RGB codes. You can copy them and paste them here, and the software is going to recognize that automatically. So let's change the line width to like probably 4, let's say, and we are going to go to the next one, and let's make this really quick so we don't lose time. So that one, and we go to the properties and make it 4 also, and then we move to the next one. Probably leave it the way it is, or maybe we've chosen orange. Let's make it green now. Okay, and we can go and copy this one and choose property and choose that to make it green, and we move to the next one and leave it probably blue, and choose 4, and maybe this one we want it to be red, and this one is red, and we can go and make this so I've used red or not. No, we did not. So red, probably this one is blue. Sorry, blue, and this one is actually blue. And let me go and change this to probably 4, about 4. And the last one, I'm going to make this maybe this color, and let me go and copy this one. By the way, let me just make this 4. By the way, if you want to add some graphical pattern, you can go and choose one of these, or you can choose one of these. You can also see the list in here. You can choose whatever you want and apply them to the drill holes. So the same thing applies for the sample. You go to the sample gold in here, but this time you are going to get the min and max range, so it's going to give you the minimum in that field and the maximum, and based on that you're going to create a new styles, but instead of the code you're going to apply some values. So for example, from 0 to 10 I want this color, from 10 to 20 I want this color, and so on. So we've created this legend, and yes, if you are interested in Volcane, for example, or Micromine or whatever, make sure to check out our website geotrainings.com. I'll leave the link in below. And we have a bunch of trainings, full trainings in these mining packages, including Leapfrog, Micromine, Volcane, and Datamine. We also have in QGIS, and there will be a training in Surpac, and other training coming soon, and some master classes that they will be released. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe. So let me go and click on apply. And now, since our display is based on the lithology rock, you can see now here that we have some colors, and this is exactly what we wanted to see. So this is how to create a geological database inside Surpac. It's not really that complicated, and we will do the same exact thing in our training and move on with some geological modeling and block modeling, resource estimation, and pit design. So the course is going to be probably available soon. So if you see a link below, then the course is ready. You can go and get the full course, or you can go and check our other courses in which we cover the same process and much more in other packages. So the more packages you learn, the more you can land a career in the mining industry. And this is actually how I got my first job, because I know how to use a software that I've learned from just a bunch of tutorials. So see you in the next video. I hope this one was informative. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any question. You will notice that in my channel I answer every single question, and I read every single question that you put in the comments below. So if you have anything in mind, please let me know. And if you are part of an industry and you want to hire a consultant, you can contact me and I'll do that for you for a reasonable price. I get a lot of clients, yeah, so I might schedule your work. So make sure to contact me with the details, and we'll see about that. So see you in the next video.